Dean, how are you tracking pre-season wise? Are you going to play in the NAB Challenge games?
Yeah, I think I will. Haven't really sat down with the fitness staff or the match committee yet and penciled out exactly what I'm going to do. But that'll be done we've got a practice match on Tuesday that I'll play in and work out our minutes from there. But I want to try and make sure that I've ticked off every box before round one starts. If that means I'll play majority of them, well then I'll do that. So whatever's best for myself to get fresh for round one, but also we've got a new game plan that we've got to learn as well. So there's a lot of new things that we're trying to implement, and we've got to be together to do that. NAB Cup's a good chance for that.
But you're confirmed for the Dockers game, the 18th one.
Yeah, at this stage I'll play. Yeah. So, and whether I go to Sydney after that depends. So that'll be discussed as the games go through and work out how many minutes I am playing.
What's different about the game plan? You can't tell us everything, obviously, but is there any basic stuff you can sort of open up?
I suppose the way we'll move the ball. Simo's implemented a few different things with that, and the players are certainly enjoying taking on that challenge and learning that. We've had a heap of breakdown drills that we've gone through to try and get the whole picture when NAB Cup starts. And until then, we're still a little bit unsure, but the boys are confident. I've certainly got complete faith in the game plan. So it's just a matter now of learning as much as you can and trying to establish it and then make it work on game day.
Does the role of the ruckman sort of change in this new game plan?
I think there's certain areas of everyone's game that will change. I think certainly the patterns that I run or the things that myself and Nick, that Scotty Lossett do on the field, you can't take that away. Yeah. I think you've got to try and mould every player into play their strengths on match day and play collectively as a team. So a few things will be tweaked, but not too many.
Are you planning to be managed this year, do you think? Miss games to be rested, that kind of stuff, or you're just going to go out and try and play every game?
I certainly hope I'm available to play every game. I think that's the first thing. It's just a matter now of, depending on the state, where the side's at, how every ruckman's going, if everything can be fitted in. I think at the start of the year you've got the ideal world, but that never eventuates. So I was going to have a rest a couple of times last year, but that didn't eventuate either.
Is this pre-season, does it feel more busier because of the extra responsibilities coaching?
A little bit of that, but also I think it's been probably a little bit busier for most players in that we need to learn a lot of things. You've got not only the new head coach and new game plan, but you've got new line coaches, development coaches, and everyone's got so many great new ideas that all the players have been probably made to sit through more fundamentals to make sure they completely understand it. So then we can train it, so then we can implement it in games. So, but having said that, Simo's always the idea that we're not just hanging around for the sake of hanging around. We're getting in, getting it done, and then we go home.
But you have to spend a bit more time in the film room and that sort of thing, don't you? As part of that responsibility, coaching. Yeah,
for sure. I think, and that's I suppose one of the most important things about footy is the vision that you do get now behind the goals. The analysing the training, cutting clips, editing that, trying to get teaching points out of it and pass on that information. I think that's the thing. So you've got to train, then you've got to look at it, then you've got to cut it down and spend time with the other ruckman and go through it so they can try and understand, all right, well, the person wasn't in the right position here or bad technique was used here, try and implement different techniques throughout games. And but yeah, it's been really enjoyable.
Is it exciting heading towards the season? I mean, it's an obvious question, but it's sort of, at this point, you're starting to get really up for the games.
Yeah, I think most players on the AFL list are ready for them. I think you come back, you do 6 weeks pre-Christmas, you do this part now, and all you're waiting for is the games. You do a little bit of match simulation drills throughout training, you put the toes in the water and whet the appetite a bit, but now it's a matter of, all right, the games are here, prepare for that, all the work's done, and that's the exciting part. So get these NAB Cups, try and work through some stuff, and there's no better feeling than coming into round one knowing you're ready to go.
On the coaching stuff, do you think you'd want to be a head coach maybe after your career? Have you thought about that?
I'm not sure about a head coach. I think certainly coaching the AFL's something that I've wanted to do for the past couple of years. So it's a matter of trying to do as many courses, work obviously now the role that I'm doing, spend a lot more time with Simo, understanding the role of a coach and how you educate and teach properly. I think that's probably the biggest thing, and when footy does finish, hopefully I'll put a number of things in place that I can coach at the AFL level. Head coaching, I certainly have a huge passion for coaching, whether that's head coach of an AFL, only time will tell.
What's the pass mark for you guys this year? Is it as simple as making finals?
I'm not sure. I think certainly improvement. I think
Premiership?
Yeah, premiership would be good, but it's a matter of trying to make sure that we continually improve with the style of play that we want to play.
Yeah.
And if we can get everyone available, I certainly think we're good enough to beat the top sides. So now we've just got to make sure we put that into action.
Yeah.
Amount of wins, top 8, top 4, that's still unknown, but this side will improve, hopefully pretty quickly this year.
And I get the feeling you guys are quite cautious. Obviously, bringing in a new game plan can be a little bit bumpy at times. Like, you're not expecting the world this year. It might be a bit of a learning year.
No, I'm certainly not in for a learning year. Players have had enough time to learn this game plan. Might take a little bit to gel, but this side's going to be all about effort. Make sure that they continually put in 100%. The wins will come from that, and hopefully there's a hell of a lot of them this year.
Have you thought about the records that you're sort of in line to pass this year and potentially next year? 300 first Eagle, would you push on another year?
I'll just worry about getting through this year before I worry about next year. But I suppose people always remind you of it, and if you're fortunate enough to play the most games for the Eagles at the end of my career, I'd be really happy with that. I value the club and everything it stands for, and I'm so grateful for what they've given to me. I find it easy to say that I owe nothing to the footy club. I owe everything to the footy club. The footy club owes nothing to me. I'm wrapped with the way they've handled everything, the way they've obviously given me opportunities. I'd just be excited to hopefully play as many games as I possibly can from.
Watch out for Jacko trying to run you over or something.
Jacko was one of my favourite players, so I might just stop on 276 with him.
Dean, how do you see the club's ruck stocks, obviously with yourself included, and Nick Nat, and how's their progress, and how's that, I suppose, group or team working towards round one and the season?
Going really well. I think myself, Scotty and Callum Sinclair have got majority of the training load in. That was the first thing, and then Nick's been doing a hell of a lot of training post-Christmas. So he's almost back in full main training now, so he'll get some NAB Cup time. Not exactly sure when, but he'll play games before the season starts. And that's, if we can get all 4 of us up and going, and then hopefully hit the Western Bulldogs with 1, 2, 3 of us, whatever. That'll be determined by the match committee, but hopefully everything goes well and all are available.
And obviously being from the regional area, how important are these trips to come down and get out into the community and spread the word?
Yeah, really important. It's not really about spreading the word. It's about, I suppose, giving back to all the supporters that are away from Perth, that don't get the opportunity to come to games every week, don't get the opportunity to go to a fan day that the players have on a weekend, and just for all the players to show the support that they show us. Come down here and mingle and go to schools and meet young kids, and I suppose give them an opportunity to get an autograph or to say hello and have a chat with people, players that they idolise. That's the biggest thing the players see, and we'd spread out as much as we possibly could, but unfortunately the time doesn't allow you to do it too many times a year.